What would you do if you go on vacation with your family, you meet a new family who is kind of strange and have a mute son, only to have your daughter kidnapped and the same family you met murder you and your wife? What's up, horror fans? Today we are diving deep into the Speak No Evil movie that was made in 2022. Now, there is another remake of this movie, Speak No Evil. I think it was like 2024 or something like that. I personally like this movie a lot more just because it makes it a little bit better, and the ending is more predictable than the new remake's ending. So if you like this content, comment down below for more and give this video a like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Now, there is kind and polite people, and there are just downright insane people. This movie goes deep into why you should always trust your gut and put your family's safety above kindness. They were kind, they were polite, and they were just trying to be good guests, and unfortunately, that's what got them killed. This is Speak No Evil, one of the most chilling psychological horror films in recent memories. Today we are going to break down the movie in the full, the characters, their twisted fates, and the terrifying message at its core. Now, the film begins in sunny Italy, where two families, one Danish and one Dutch, cross paths during a vacation. Now, sorry if I mispronounce any names. I am not the greatest at pronouncing or reading, so just stick with me. The first family that this movie is based off of, there is Bjorn, I believe I'm saying his name right, and Louise, a quite seemingly content Danish couple, and their daughter Agnes. Then there's Patrick and Karen, an outgoing Dutch couple, and their son Abel. They get along, share drinks, laugh a little, and months later, Bjorn and Louise receive a postcard inviting them to spend a weekend at Patrick and Karen's countryside home. It sounds harmless, but what's waiting on the other side of that invitation is pure evil hidden under politeness. Now we meet the characters. Bjorn, a soft-spoken, passive man, he's searching for meaning and purpose. You can tell early on he feels trapped in his everyday life. This craving for connection makes him dangerously open to manipulation. Louise, his wife. She's more practical and instinct-driven. She notices when things feel off, but like her husband, she doesn't speak up forcefully enough. Then we have Agnes, their daughter, innocent, trusting, and sweet. She becomes the film's ultimate victim. Now going into the next family, we have Patrick, a charming doctor with a sinister edge. His dominance shows in subtle ways, at first mocking, gaslighting, and always challenging boundaries. Karen, Patrick's wife, she's cold and complicit. She quietly reinforces their twisted behavior through fake smiles and silent stares. And finally, Abel, their son. He doesn't speak. Karen claims it's due to a birth defect, but if everyone has watched this movie, you know that's a bunch of bullshit. They actually cut out his tongue, but why would loving parents do that to their child? Well, at the end of the movie, we see why and what's really going on. Abel not having a tongue is the first clue that something is deeply, deeply wrong, but they brush it off as a kid just being weird. Now, as the visit progresses, things get uncomfortable. Patrick ignores Louise's vegetarianism, yells at Abel in disturbing ways, and they spy on their guests. A personal space is invaded, trust is violated, and when Bjorn and Louise finally try to leave, they get lost, frightened, and then return. Now, you may ask why, and it's because they simply just don't want to offend anyone, because they feel guilty, because apparently being nice seems more important than being safe. This message is the core of the whole movie, the horror of politeness and the horrors of what can happen if you are too polite. Now we get into the daughter's fate. The moment they return, the tone shifts completely. Bjorn finds a room where he soon finds out Patrick and Karen abducts families, takes their children, cut out their kids' tongues, and finally kill the parents. He then finds Abel's body, him being drowned, showing that Patrick and Karen are now going to go after them and their daughter. Bjorn and Louise try to leave, but Patrick and Karen find them, cut out the daughter's tongue right in front of them, and the babysitter takes the daughter back to the house. They try to resist, but it's no use, considering now they don't have their daughter. Then here comes one of the most brutal endings in modern horror. Bjorn and Louise are forced to strip, made to stand in a pit, and stoned to death. It's slow and brutal, and it's by the people they trusted. No explanation, no logic, and definitely no mercy. All Patrick says when Bjorn asks why was, "'Cause you let me," which is indicating he let Patrick do so much stuff and never said anything, so this is what happens when you don't speak up. It's just evil, calmly executed, and if it's part of a twisted routine. Patrick and Karen take Agnes with them, and in the final scene, we see them with another family, repeating the cycle again. Now, Speak No Evil is about more than just violence. It's about how societal roles or our fears of being rude, awkward, or confrontational can become a trap. It can become something that people feed on and something you are more vulnerable to what happened to Bjorn and Louise. The death of instinct. Louise and Bjorn know something's wrong, but they ignore their gut feelings to avoid awkwardness and being rude. The danger of niceness. They, again, don't want to seem impolite, even when their daughter is endangered, even when their lives are at risk, they still apologize. And then we cut to evil in plain sight. Patrick and Karen are not monsters hiding in the dark. They're smiling, polite killers who operate in broad daylight because they know their visitors won't speak up. And that's what makes this film terrifying. It's realistic. It's not about ghosts or killers in masks. It's about how ordinary people become victims by simply just trying too hard to be nice. Speak No Evil is one of the most disturbing films you'll ever watch, not because of what it shows, but because of what it says about us. When we silence ourselves to avoid conflict, we ignore all the danger signs to fit in. If we're not being good people, we're just walking ourselves straight into hell. Now, this movie simply just shows that no monster or ghost or serial killer is scarier than just normal people. Patrick and Karen are simply just normal people. They feed off of pushing boundaries and showing, basically, their victims show them that they ain't gonna fight back. So they take that and they lead with it. Now, I'm pretty sure if Bjorn and Louise stayed or just stuck to their plan and left, they wouldn't have gotten killed because Patrick and Karen would have seen that they actually have a backbone and left. But what did you think of this movie? Let me know down in the comments. And if you like content like this, give this video a like and subscribe, and come back to our deep dives into the scariest and creepiest movies. We really appreciate it. But until next time, stay safe, always trust your gut, and have a wonderful day.